Hey, welcome back. So, this is part 3, the finale. So, the first film on this list is going to be a Serbian film. So, this is another in particular that will truly turn your stomach, stay with you for days. You see the mask here, okay? It's empty. The reason it's empty is because the mother has many masks, okay? There is no true face to evil. So you see the checkerboard floor here. Now it's always associated with Freemasonry, but as I've told you before many a time, they all thieve off each other. They have no originality or individuality. Checkerboard floor, yes, is now and has now been adopted by the Freemasons. However, they adopted it from the Egyptians, and the Egyptians adopted it from the Babylonians. See? But it's not passed down, it's stolen down, okay? They don't give to each other, they just take. So, one-eye symbolism, you're going to see it in almost every cover, as you will if you were to look on perhaps Netflix or Amazon Prime. You'll notice every single film cover these days will have not only the one-eye symbolism, but they don't even, and this is something that my partner actually pointed out to me, there is no background attraction or excitement, nothing. It literally just have a picture of the actors and actresses that are starring in the film on the front. That's it. Just two faces. Either looking sad, telling you it's a sad film, or looking happy, telling you it's a happy film. That's all you get. Said no originality and no individuality. So moving on, you'll see they've made almost like a dog's ear out of the blood here. That is not an accident. Okay, it's symbolic of a group that have taken the number 88. They're also known as the Canaanites. They're descendants of Cain. Yes, as in Cain and Abel. We are all descendants of Abel. Okay, these things are descendants of Cain, the 88s. It's also where the word canine comes from. Cain chose to feast upon his prey like a rabid dog, like a vicious wolf. Okay, therefore he grew canines, he grew pointed ears. They have these slightly sloped, slanted tips to their thumbs. You can notice them a lot in the media, just as much as you can at reptilians. Checkerboard floor once again, we've just gone through that. Another offering for, that's right, they love the silhouette in the cubed door frame. They do this very often. 5, 13, 11. Sometimes it's not so much an added equation. Sometimes they use simply the numbers in 3 focuses of a date. So 5 is symbolic for slavery and death. 13 is symbolic of the 13 bloodlines. The I word that you all know I don't like to use because it is the trigger word Illuminati. And then you have 11, which is specifically sacred, these dead dandelions, because the 1 and the 1 are the pillars in Freemasonry, as I said before. Okay. Okay, what do we have next? We have Mandy. As you can probably tell from the cover, it's a very colourful film, very trippy film. Most of these are. It's another way that they fool you. It relates back to the peace movement, free love, hippies, all that kind of thing. It was all a psyop. Okay, they're trying to do it again today by using the word love as acceptance to accept everything, as I've spoken of before. It starts off small, homosexuality, transgenderism, and then it turns into paedophilia, things like that. Give the rights to some fetishes, why not others? Okay, so see the roots, we've already gone over this. The roots of the mother, Mandy, mother, okay, puppeteering our human race, okay. This is her, once again, see, it's all by design. You will see the tentacles. Along with the spider, the octopus is also always been associated with the mother, divine feminine. Okay. Obvious, not really worth my time nor yours. Yes, so you'll see on one side the organic vehicles and on the other the artificial. Well, we are the vehicles, and she's trying to join the two within us. Simple. Our Babel reference here as well. The moon of Diana, which is also the mother. Terrible image, I do apologise, but there will always be a reason why I would save a terrible image to show you. Ah, I see. Very simple. Chainsaw fight on the front. Okay, well that's the X. It's still a Saturn. Okay. Back my point up, you can see the date down here is the 11th of October when it's released, or was released in cinemas. They were 11 and 10, add them together, you have 21. And then, of course, in Pythagorean numerology, you add the double digits together, which gives you 3. And as we know, 3 is the number for Saturn. Okay? First perfect number in their religion. None. Yeah, so you have the blue, the red this time, the yellow, of course, blue and red, purple, Freemasonry. Okay? Yeah, so again, the vehicle. See? This is all deliberate. You have the mother up here with the scarred eye of Satan. You see? Parting also shows the two sides, the male, the female, iron and clay. Still, so one tiger eye, the other tiger eye. Okay, this is the invocation of the beast with the black sun behind him, making him out to be the severed saint, as it were. Okay, film is a very potent psyop against Christianity, essentially. Now, I don't go for any religion per se. I just know what I feel in my heart and what I know in my mind. But they will always attack the Bible. It has been rewritten, as I said, and reproduced and redirected, just like these films, like the films that I wanted to make. However, there is some holy doctrines in it, and that's why you will find that the Bible is the only book that will be attacked, taken out of school, education. All the rest are fine, you know, whether it be Islam, Muslim, you know, they have no problem with any other religion. There's a reason for that. And the main antagonist in this, the leader of the cult, is of course a Bible bashing, cookie cutting Jesus freak. Do this deliberately. Okay? That way, if you ever say you believe in one true father or a divine creator, people laugh in your fucking face and think you're in that case. All by design, people. Another very colourful one. So this is the geezer I'm on about. As you can see, doing the... People think this is a pose of Jesus. It's not. It's not. I believe it's a pose of Osiris. It was also used many a time in many pictures of Aleister Crowley, who is the poster boy for all these posters, to be fair. Yeah, the axe is the scythe. Always remember that. The scythe of Kronos, Father Time. Satan, Saturn, Father Nate. Issues again. Green for the heart chakra. The cross cube inside the triangle. Again, this is relevant. It showed who was pulling the strings when this took place. Again, just to show you how many roots the mother has in and under through this earth. Not an easy fight. It won't be the hardest either. Hardest is knowing, feeling the truth that the fight even exists. As I said before, this is also the anarchy sign, being repeated, echoed through history ever since the death of the son, where we are now, controlled by the mother, the man mother. Understand? Martyrs. Yeah. One that make you throw up in your mouth as well. So the eye is also the vortex. Okay. It's the portal. It's the gateway. Okay. That sucks souls into it. Casts the illusion of ones out of it. Whenever you see two females in a film like this, black, red, white symbolism once again, you are looking at the depiction of Lilith and Eve. And when you watch these two characters in the film, you will see how much one is like Lilith and one is like Eve. Big sister and the little one. On our symbolism once again. Okay. The Tower of Babel. The platform at the top. Steady ground. Okay, so this symbolises not only chaos magic, every direction, but also the ties that bind to it, which again comes back, as I've said in almost every single one of these cover photos for the films that we are inspecting. You see the strings of the puppeteer, okay, holding us back. More blasphemy. I'm a female rendition of Jesus. Skin taken off. It's been flayed. He was also flayed, but they won't tell you that, will they? What do we see here? The chains, the strings. You see, Satan was chained too. So it's part of the vendetta and the enactment of revenge put upon us. I shall back my point up further within the next few slides. Oh, maybe I spoke a bit too soon. Chains. See this? This is what Lucifer was wrapped in when he was cast out into the abyss and exiled for 1,000 years. Okay. It's also where you'll get certain band names from, like Alice in Chains. Alice is Lucifer. Okay. In Chains. Think the band, Lords of Salem. This is about what they first think is a band, but is actually a witch coven. Yeah, very interesting film. Feast for the eyes, as your heart becomes a feast for them. The duality in the jumper here, the pink for the divine feminine. Grim Reaper, Kronos. You see this? Okay. We've been waiting, we've always been waiting. Yeah. Yeah, the unholy trinity has been waiting for what's coming, and we're very close to it. Rising. See that? Rising. Also, you'll see the date that it was released in cinemas. The 4th, 19th. You have 13 here, okay? So, 19th of the 4th, 2013 would be, if you add them all together, it comes to 36. What do we know about the number 36? Right, 3 sixes. You see it everywhere, so it can't be denied, can it? As I always say, I truly hope that I am nuts and this is all in my head. It means we're safe, we're secure. But after the research and studying I've done and that you're doing, it's safe and secure to say we're not. Pretty cool poster. Do you really look into it? So we have the tendrils of Mother Nature once again. There's no reason for this. There's no tendrils in the film or anything like that. Okay. In a sense, it's quite grounded. Oh, I suppose there is tendrils attached to the arm of their depiction of Satan, which is a tiny little midget fella. It's to disarm you, you see. However, that's not the point of these tendrils, okay? Again, one hand up, one down, that's above, sorry, as above, so below, which is what duality is in the jumper which she's wearing. My girlfriend does a really good impression of Sherry Moon in this film. That wobbly sort of trancy thing. It's creepy as fuck. She used to have the same jumper too. So yeah, so you have the horns of Mendes here and the Baphomet pose up here. As I always say, the Baphomet is a scapegoat, and that's not a pun. That's exactly where that word comes from. Okay. They use it to cast your attention towards an inanimate figure, whilst the real one does the work behind the curtain. Manson family, yeah. Another one makes you want to tear your fucking eyes out your sockets. Yeah, so you have the unholy trinity here. Not much to say really, it speaks for itself if you know anything about the Manson murders and the fact that Charles Manson himself was a CIA operative. He'd been under many experiments with the use of LSD. He was also part of the Process Church. Okay, it can all be looked into. Yeah, the black, red, and the white. Yeah, pig. There's a reason they're obsessed with pigs. See, pigs are one of the only animals that actually feels empathy for another of its kind when the other of its kind is in pain. Okay, they see us as pigs. Also, because of the term sounder being three, comes back to the unholy trinity. It's why they always use pig heads in Satanism. Ah, the neon demon. Okay, so I've only seen this film once. That's all you need. Okay, so you see the Grim Reaper gown, and you see 6 heads, including the one that isn't part of the reflection in the triangle. Okay, being the seal. 6 is the number soul of man. Okay, and that soul would, of course, although I don't agree, belong to Kronos, Father Time, Satan. Okay, 6 is also the number for the all sufficient, is exactly what this tyrant considers itself to be. Of course, if it was, it wouldn't need us, would it? You see what pride does? It always comes before the fall. Next. So the shattering of the mind, MK Ultra. Okay, you have the one eye symbolism here. The pink, the blue. We already know what that is, don't we? Beauty is vicious. Yes, it is, especially when it's in the hands of Lilith and Eve. Okay? They run everything and anything that comes into the vein of sexual fetish or fantasy. So, again, there is no sense of environmental beauty within the film whatsoever, and yet they cover her in flowers, leaves, vines. This is another depiction of Mother Earth, Mother Nature, Divine Feminine. Okay? They blind you with beauty, and it works too. How do you think people fall in love at first sight? Yeah, my partner taught me this. That doesn't even make sense. You don't know the person, you know nothing about them. What you're really saying is lust at first sight. You see, beauty blinds you. So, pretty obvious one. They haven't tried to hide this whatsoever. Pink, blue, yellow, divine feminine. In what? That's right, the hourglass. Time. Okay, for Father Time. And there he is. In the bottom. You see? He's not under us. Hell is not underneath us. This is still above us. This thing isn't, but realm is. However, there's a realm above it too. Okay? Everything trickles down. And that's why it's the Rain Man. And it rains upon us. And that's why our earth has become purgatory. It's not quite hell, but it is purgatory. It's also why we have no hope and no faith. We do, but people don't think we do. And I've told you how dangerous the word think is, haven't I? It's about knowing and feeling. Put the two together and combine them, which I wouldn't usually say either because that's what this piece of shit wants to do. It doesn't want to do it with your heart and your mind, truly your soul. doesn't have one, so it doesn't know how to do it. Therefore, it has to come up and conjure up a counterfeit one. And this is the counterfeit one here. Okay, very significant. So the upside down triangle is always been associated with the feminine. Okay, water and fertility. What do you see in front of you? An upside down triangle on one side. You have the opposite triangle, which has always been associated with the phallus. Okay, masculinity, which would be Satan. Then you have another one going upside down the other side. Lilith, Satan, Eve. Always deliberate. The wicked die young. Okay, Lilith and Eve were taken out of the Garden of Eden and they were taken out to the east, which is why there is no north sitting in any lodge of Freemasonry. Okay, and when they were taken out, their souls died and they were young, and that's also why they can't grow up, why the plans they devise are so immature. It's why the most evil people you'll ever meet in this lifetime on this earth so immature. Okay? It all trickles down. Again, symbolism of MK Ultra, shattering of the mind. Beauty is pain. Well, that also means that pain would be beauty, doesn't it? Okay. This is practically Lilith's tagline, if you like. So this one is of very important significance. So you see the pink and the blue straight away. But that's not it. It's to show you once again the artificial intelligence, Pandora's box, has no face. Evil has no face, which is why it can wear so many masks. Do you see that? The mask is slipping off. Okay, the mask of sanity. Another line taken from one of the first books that was analysing and dissecting psychopathy. This thing is psychopathy incarnate. Okay, see the stars around it as well, because Satan is a fallen one, as is his acolytes. Cross right through the mind. Okay, across is the cube. Cube of the mind would mean the hive mind. Okay, and the cube is powered by blood. Red and blue symbolism once again. Okay, so the pink and the blue we've already gone through. See what's happened to the skin here. Okay, it's the true ugliness behind the beauty. Beauty is vicious. That would be Eve's tagline, by the way. Slit throat, femininity, gushing, rushing out. Blue there to match it. As I say, this thing is constantly bleeding, the mother. Okay, that's why it needs our blood. It needs our loosh. It needs our life force. This wound will never heal. Okay, It will never coagulate. Why? They are trying to do exactly that. The solve and the coagular to take apart and put back together and hopefully seal this laceration of Saturn. Can't be done. Not going to make them give up anytime soon. Okay. We are only kept alive as a blood transfusion for this bitch. Alright? So this will show the firmament. Because Satan's trapped in one as well, you see. Say every punishment put upon us by it is a punishment that was put on it by the Creator. It knows no different. It cannot come up with an idea that hasn't already been done under the black sun. Okay, so one thing that I've studied up on quite a lot is the elongated neck. Okay, this has been associated with a few things. Some people consider it to be a defect, on the cloning process. Others believe it to be a feature that many alpha draconian reptilians have. One way or another, that is a long fucking neck. Okay. I have no proof, so I'm not going to prove it, but there is something not quite right there, as you can clearly see. Okay. Now, as for these on the sides of the cheek and the forehead here, part of Lilith's description, along with the horns and the wings that I failed to mention in my Lilith part 1 and 2 videos. I did that deliberately because I didn't want it to be a misconstrued misconception, okay? Because she didn't look like that to begin with. These are part of that. She didn't have these to begin with, but she does. Her bone structure and her face is very different to the female horse and face that we know of, okay? Hence why it's always repeated in characters such as Maleficent or Lady Gaga. She is a character. That's why. Pay homage to Sex Queen Lilith. Okay, and last but not least, we have the witch. Okay, so witch is not the word for witches, it is actually VITCH, okay, double V. But over time, because of how many people didn't know how to pronounce it, they put the two V's together and it became a W, witch. It's not, it's pronounced bitch. Okay? That being said, you always see the moon in association with Lilith. The moon was always feminine. Christianity made it masculine. It's not, it's feminine. Okay? It's also the reason for all this fake, false light fixture around us, the hologram, okay, the matrix, which is controlled by none other than, yeah, Lilith, okay, the long, dead straight black hair. If you look at the shape of this opening, you will see that it is in fact a heart, because every one of these films is attacking exactly that, our hearts. So this should be obvious by this point if you're still listening. The rabbit, always been associated with witchcraft. It is a form that most witches can take to show and portray innocence. The goat is obvious, I would have thought, and the crow symbolises death. Okay, the rabbit is Eve. Okay, the expression of innocence after it had been tainted and tarnished. The goat is the goat of Mendes, which would be Satan, and the crow is Lilith. Lilith has always been associated with Moloch, the owl. Owl, crow, get it? Good. And here we come back to the number 88, which they have taken and used to describe themselves. When I say themselves, I am, of course, speaking of the Canaanites, the descendants of Cain that killed Abel. We are the descendants of the tares. Okay, these are the tares. That is why they have merged animal with human. Okay, Cain feasted on his own kind. They became cannibals. They grew canines, and they became. Although I see that this is the goat they've used here, I do believe you can see the rabbit and the crow within it also, because they are mixed. Okay, they're trying to replace us on this earth, the Canaanites. Okay, any way they can, every way they can. Be spotted with the shapes of their thumbs, the shapes of their ears, the shapes of their teeth. Okay, but yeah, they're hybrids. They are hybrids, and as I said, they are tares. They look, sound, move, act just like us, but they do not feel anything that we do. They do not know anything that we do. They second best, and they won't give up until they're made first, which is why we can't, can we? Eve, unholy trinity. Fire is not hell, okay? Fire is illumination. That's how they use it. These three have been illuminated. The unholy trinity. They believe they have. They haven't. Because it's a false light, okay? Mother Nature, always. So, you know by now, who does this depict? Right, Father Time. That's Kronos, okay? The same as they use the hat, as I've said before, I believe Satanic Cinema Part 1. The hat symbolizes the hood, okay? The hat will always be over the eyes, therefore over the face, because the eyes are the main part of the face, the windows to the soul, of which there isn't one. So the windows have been shut by closing off and hiding under the hood or the hat. Evil takes many forms. What did I say about the masks? That's right, the falsified face. It wears other masks. It takes many forms because it does not have its own form to take. So we see the serpent path. You follow it, you end up just like him, which is just what he wants. Okay? He, she, it's all the same. It's a force, and that's where force of nature comes from. It's used to take a family like this, and just like it does in the film, takes away their hope and their faith, and takes them down the garden path. It's what they're trying to do to us, ladies and gentlemen. I really hope by this point you can see this, hear this, feel this, and know this. If there's enough of us that do, there'll be enough that we can do. Power in numbers, okay? But not in the numbers that they get their power from. We don't need anything that they have to offer, okay? This does not offer you anything in your life. It makes you feel like you're living, but you're not. You're already dead. So, in closing, hope that this has taken the fermented, demented biscuit. As long as you've got your guard up when it comes to the satanic cinema, they won't put your heart down. Please, whatever you do or don't do when it comes to these films and your own view, please, 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 just watch what you watch.